All right, let's shift our focus now. And the ballistics expert, Chris Mangena, has told the Nkabinde Inquiry probing suspended Gauteng DPP Andrew Chauke's fitness to hold office that the Cato Manor police unit killed some of the suspects execution style and not in gun battles as initially claimed. He's highlighted discrepancies between police reports and ballistic report outcomes. Nqobile Madlala has been closely following all these proceedings and joins me now in studio. A little bit of a change from Pretoria, why don't we get you here in studio? But let's talk about that testimony from Chris Mangena, the ballistics expert, and what perhaps that shared to us and that told us yesterday.
Well, Nqobile, we're basically looking at different setups and crime scenes that they had to analyze with regards to these 23 dockets. First of all, what we noted is that he says out of the 24 dockets that they looked at, 23 of them, all the suspects were shot in the head. That's one of the things. This now was revealed a day before. Now, yesterday, we're looking at further dockets, one of them being Lindon. Now, Lindon is driving on a highway. This is where we are told that going to Phoenix, and we're told that there was a gun battle between him and the Cato Manor units when they tried to stop him. But he doesn't stop, so then they end up having to shoot because he's shooting at them. We're told that he has his hand outside the window, he's shooting at them on the side. However, when they find the actual scene, we're told by ballistics reports that, first of all, he was shot when the car was stationary, which contradicts what the police had said. The second thing is that there's actually the gun that they said he was shooting from is a revolver, and now we're told that it actually has about 6 bullets, and you actually have to clip it as you drive. So it would be difficult for someone to be driving and be able to shoot with this revolver. But it's then found on the scene, and that's a question in terms of where did it come from. There's no evidence that he actually had it in his hands or around in the area. But they are then finding out that he was shot at close range, and the killing bullet then hit him and he passed away instantly. Now, all the other ones that shot him between the 9mm and the R5, which is a rain of bullets, basically where afterwards the killing bullets was the first bullet. Sure. Now, this is one of the cases. The second case is one of Tabu Simang. Tabu is in a flat. We're told that he hears that the police are opening the door, and he then takes out a gun. He's pointing at the police and is trying to shoot them. And as he's trying to shoot them, then the police have no choice but to defend themselves. He then runs away, goes over the balcony, jumps out on the 4th floor, and when he lands, he still shoots at the police. This is what's being said. However, ballistics report is saying, no, that's not the case. By the time he jumped out already, he was already shot. Granted, on the report, it does say that there was the police shot 3 times, but they're saying, no, actually the position doesn't make sense. There's a glass between the balcony and the point, and the glass is not shattered. There's all discrepancies that they are seeing. And when he jumps, it doesn't make sense that he jumped by himself. They're saying when he lands, he actually didn't land on his feet as someone who was jumping. Instead, he was killed by the fact that he landed on his head. So it doesn't make sense that then he was standing up and shooting, and they're saying he suffered brain damage at the time, he suffered skull damage, and these are some of the dockets that they analyzed. So
they're analyzing all these dockets to say what? I mean, they're finding all these discrepancies. The bigger picture is, how does this tie in to, of course, Andrew Chauke's fitness to hold office? And I mean, obviously, everything will try to get to that point if we haven't moved on from it completely. So,
Nqobile, remember that the NPA at the time, NPA head, Shamila Batoy, said that he acted outside of his jurisdiction, that he pushed for the racketeering charge, and the racketeering charge is really mainly on the Cato Manor unit in their conduct, in terms of the dockets that they looked at, and this is where they saw the 23 dockets. But initially, they were given by IPID and other teams 52 dockets. It was only just 23 that had enough evidence to actually look into. So they're probing what caused the racketeering charge and what was the point behind that. But let's listen in as Mangena give us more details.
Did you ever find out why Inspector Mostert is the regular executioner? He's always the one carrying a shotgun, a pistol and a shooting.
Chair, it's difficult to can say that, but at one stage when we were that side. You know, when we were consulting with a number of people, interviewing people about this, at one stage we once had information that between the three, Warrant Officer Mostert, Captain Van Tonner and Eric Nel, there was a competition of how many people can you shoot.
All right. I mean, amongst these inquiries are certainly some things we will be following for you. Very quickly, we do have something else actually also coming up and breaking very soon, but there's also the interlocutory application that will now be put forward. Tell us more about that and what that means.
Arabile, at 3 o'clock, there's going to be this application, and what's going to be happening is basically NPA is saying that there was a conflict of interest. Now they cannot represent a Batoy, but they also want to have a word in the inquiry. All along, remember, the inquiry speaks directly to evidence leaders that are that are on a fact-finding mission, essentially, trying to show all the details so that they have enough to write a report on. Now they're saying that they want to have a word, they want to give in their witness list, they want to cross-examine, they want to lead testimony, and that's what they want to do. They want to be independent. But at the same time, we know that Advocate Shamila Batoy also has her own attorneys as well as counsel that is also in standby. They're going to be at the inquiry today to also get more details because they also want to represent her best interest. But at the same time, all of this has to go via the evidence leaders, the defense legal team, which is basically Chauke's team. They also need to agree for this to take place, and we know they're opposing.
Nqobile, thank you so much for that, giving us the broader picture on the Nkabinde Commission, or rather the Nkabinde Inquiry as it's happening right now.